Welcome to the Dear Brother Podcast. We got a show for y'all today. We're going to talk for a little bit. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. And the conversation we're having today, everybody, is marriage worth it? What's going on with marriage? What are we doing with marriage? Are people still doing it? If they're not doing it, why aren't they doing it? We're talking about a marriage crisis. Why so many people are unhappy? Why so many men are unhappy? We're going to get into it today. Jump into the chat. Let's talk. Let's get into it. Marriage, so many times, so often, it's presented as a cornerstone. This marriage is presented. And I think one of the biggest things, my problem that I want to put on the table today is I don't think we have a marriage problem. I think we have a choosing problem. I think we're going to make that a big part of the podcast today, is that we have a choosing problem. I want to put that on the doorstep of our conversation. I don't think marriage is an issue. I think marriage is a good thing. I've been married. I've also been through a divorce, but I think one of the biggest problems I'm finding with marriage, man, is that people choose the wrong person. I say it often. I've counseled many couples through many things, and it's hard. I say this to people all the time. It's hard to make people work on something that they never really wanted. Why do we get married? Why do we get married so fast? How many people out there got married because they felt forced or they felt like they had to? We're going to get into it today, everybody. We're going to have a good show, a live show. Again, we're live everywhere. Jump in the chat whenever you're ready. And we're going to talk about this thing because it's a very important conversation. Another thing I think is that social media is messing up a lot of things in our relationships. Social media is throwing people off. It's making people feel like the biggest fight between men and women. I don't think there's a big fight between men and women, or it doesn't have to be a big fight between men and women. I think one of the biggest issues we're finding out there is that we really need each other. Men and women are different. Jump in the chat. Let's talk today. First thing we got on the table, I want to put on the table for those that are coming in that I don't think we have a marriage problem. I think we have a choosing problem. Again, it's hard to fix something with somebody you shouldn't have never been with. I want to talk about our experiences today, especially us guys out there. It's a lot of guys who are saying, look, there's no way in the world I'll get married. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Why is it ridiculous? Let's talk today. Let's get into it. A lot of people are scared of marriage. A lot of people are saying it's unnecessary, right? A lot of people are saying, hey, man, I won't get married because I don't want to go through a divorce. Divorce is a scary thing. Nobody gets married to get a divorce. Every time anybody gets married, it's like, look, we're going to be together forever. That's what people believe. We're going to be together forever. But is that true? Are we going to be together forever? I'm going to go over in TikTok because I got to look, make sure people are, I see y'all over here in TikTok, in TikTok world. Comment. We're going to get into it today. But let's talk. Let's chat. Is marriage worth it? For men out there, is marriage worth it? Is it something worth doing? Is it something worth doing? Is it worth getting married? For the ladies out there, is it worth getting married? How many of y'all been out there divorced? How many divorced people we been out there? And let's talk. Why did you get divorced? Why did you get divorced? I'm going to share some things today. I'm going to teach a little bit. I'm going to take some questions. Welcome everybody on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the Dear Brother Podcast. I think we're also live on the Dear Sister Podcast. And so we're going to talk today. Is marriage worth it? Is it worth it? Studies show that a lot of men are out there. A lot of men depend on their wives heavily and at the same time don't find support in a broader sense from their wives. A lot of men, it's a lot of conversation out there. I also think it's a lot of unhealthy conversation out there about marriage. I think a lot of people out there having terrible conversations, making terrible points about marriage as well. A lot of bad teaching out there about marriage. So I want to talk about it today. A lot of people are lost out here on the conversation. And one of the biggest things I find, again, social media is messing up a lot of conversation. In fact, I think it's causing a lot of people to hate. Men are hating women and women are hating men. But the issue with that is people are still getting together to have babies. See, this is really what we got to talk about, because ultimately all the fighting we do about whether it's worth it or whether it's not worth it, if we still gonna be out here having babies, then what happens to our children while we can't stand each other, while we're not looking to understand each other? Listen, men or women are totally different. I see one of the biggest things in my counseling, one of the biggest things I see being a podcast host now is that a lot of men want women to be like men, and a lot of women want men to be like women. It's never going to happen. Jump in the chat. Let's talk today. Let's get into it. because this is a big conversation. It's a big conversation we're having. Um, are we getting lost in it? Again, I got on the table, is marriage worth it? How many people out there been married? Is it worth it? You know, I talked to a lot of guys. I talked to some guys before I went live today. A lot of men feel like the gender roles and expectations are crazy out here now. You know, again, the traditional role of a man is different now, or men are looked at to say, look, men should still be the traditional things that husbands are viewed as protectors, providers. But a lot of women feel like, hey, you don't want a man to be a man. How does a man be a man in a society where men aren't valued? You know, and then you have a lot of ladies out there saying, look, women feel like they're not valued. One thing I want to say about the Dear Brother podcast is we're not one of those social media channels who out here bashing men and bashing women. One thing I say at the end of all my podcasts is this is where grown men keep growing. So our channel, we don't bash women out here. We don't bash women at all. We get into it. And it's a lot of ladies that come on the channel as well. It's not about bashing the ladies. It's about having a conversation, having a real conversation of what's going on out here. Do we love each other anymore? Do we value each other? Is it worth it? Do we see a lot of guys who have a lot of money are saying, hey, is it worth it if she's going to take me for everything I got? Let's jump into it. You know, because again, there's another thing is there's a decline of male authority in the home. Does the man's voice even mean anything anymore? You know, then we got a big conversation about toxic relationships. I think we use the word toxic a lot. Sometimes I think it's valid. A lot of times I think it's wrong. We're going to get into that. You know, another thing that I think a lot of women have used is toxic masculinity. What is that? Is toxic masculinity a real conversation? Are men being toxic for being men? And I see a lot of men we call women toxic. Are women being toxic for being women? Or the real question is, do we understand each other enough to even have these conversations? Do we understand each other? What's the real conversation? Do we feel each other? Do we understand each other enough to judge each other? That's another thing we got to talk about today. Do we understand each other enough to judge each other? Are we judging each other fairly? That's a big conversation. Are we judging each other fairly out here? Are we having a fair conversation about marriage? You know, do men know enough about women? Do women know enough about men? Another thing I find out here on a lot of social media, you got a lot of women trying to tell men how to be men or trying to tell men what a real man is. Do women have that right? Do men have that right? Do men have the right to tell a woman what a real woman is? Or do we need to be grown and start having more conversations instead of attacking each other? Let me see. Let's get into it today. We are live on all platforms. I believe we're live on all platforms. We're live on Instagram. We're live on TikTok. I see my TikTok audience coming in. We're live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into a heavy conversation today about this topic. Is it worth it, y'all? Is it worth it? Are we seeing it as worth it? Are we seeing it as worth it? Do we see it? Do we see marriage as worth it like we used to? You know, are we valuing each other? Big conversation. Are we seeing each other for how we should see each other? Are we being too hard on each other? Let's have this conversation today. It's a big conversation. It's a real conversation, and we got to see. Jump in the chat. Let's talk today. Because I have some teaching points. Listen, again, I think a lot of men, in fact, study shows that a lot of men rely on women heavily for emotional support, while a lot of women maintain broader support in the relationship. See, the thing about men is we often feel isolated. A lot of men feel isolated, feel like there's no point in jumping into a relationship. Forget marriage. A lot of people don't even think that there's a point in having a relationship anymore. Let's get into it. Let's talk. Is it a point of having a relationship these days? Or if a lot of brothers out there, if some brothers out there that's saying, look, I don't want to be in a relationship. Why is that? Why don't you, bro? Why don't you? A lot of ladies out there saying, look, it's better for me to be by myself. Let's talk about it. Why is it? Why do you feel like it's better to be by yourself out there as a woman? Is it safe for you to be out there? Now, as I'm saying that, I know a lot of women out there saying, look, Christian, I hear you, but is it safe for a woman to be with a man? Of course, the right man. But again, I think the major issue that we having out here is that are we choosing the right people? Because we're judging marriage as if marriage is not a good thing, but are you choosing the wrong people? And what do we choose based on? Let's have that conversation. What are we choosing based on? Are we choosing based on anything solid? You know, did you get with somebody just because they look good, only to find out that they weren't a good person? What are we choosing based on? And this is another question. Have we been taught as men and women, have we been taught how to choose? It's a real question. Have we been taught how to choose as men and women out here? Have we been taught how to choose? We chose based on what? A lot of people, even grown people, we choosing based on looks. I'm not saying looks don't count, but looks won't carry it. One of my jobs is I take care of a lot of senior citizens as a part-time job. One thing I learned about senior citizen love is I see people every day that have been married 70 years, 50, 60 years, right? And they say marriage was different then. A lot of people felt like marriage was a blessing then. Are we seeing marriage as a blessing? And this is my biggest concern. If we aren't seeing this thing correctly, if we aren't looking at each other correctly in marriage, then how can we raise our kids to be any different? What are we showing them? What are we showing our children? Are we teaching them anything solid about marriage? Because listen, relationship is important. And I'm going to say this, relationship is way more important than money, ladies and gentlemen. It's way more important than money. Money comes, money goes. But relationship has built the world. Relationship can hold on. My parents, I lost both of my parents early in life. My dad was 59, my mom was 62. I never saw my parents be very kissy and huggy in the house, but I saw them take care of each other. What happened to marriage? Was marriage deeper then? Was marriage deeper than before? Were marriages different then? Did they see it different then? I think a lot of them did. Again, a lot of men that I talk to feel like their authority doesn't matter in the house. A lot of men feel as if their voice doesn't matter in the household anymore. It's a shifting dynamic now. Does the man matter? Does his leadership matter? It's a big question we have. Does the male leadership matter these days? Does a man matter? Talk to me out there. Do men matter these days to women? Do we matter at all? Does our authority matter? Are we a partnership in raising the kids? Is the only voice that matters in the house a woman? We got to see this. A lot of men feel disrespected. A lot of men feel powerless, right? To engage in issues, right? A lot of men feel uncovered emotionally. Now I know a lot of men out there saying, "Man, what you talking about covered emotionally? Do you feel like do you feel like your feelings matter in a relationship?" One thing I've always found, and I teach this often when I'm doing Dear Brother Live podcast, a lot of men do not feel that there's any emotional equality in a relationship. Right? Don't feel like there's emotional equality. It feels like emotionally a lot of women to men, a lot of men say that women are hypocritical when it comes down to it. A lot of men don't feel safe. What? To say who he is, to say how he thinks. Does it matter? Does it matter as a man how you feel as a man in the house? Do you feel like women listen to you? Is this a reason why people don't get married anymore? Is marriage still valuable? Is it still valuable? Again, I believe that social media has messed up a lot of marriage, a lot of relationship. I really do. Right? I think that a lot of people are being so influenced by social media that we're not finding out or we're not discovering what real love is anymore at all. We're not. Relationships are declining. Relationships are declining because of lies being told. Right? I don't think the real picture of a relationship is what we see on social media. In fact, I'll go even further to say a lot of what we see on social media, I believe, is funded and well funded to break down the power of relationships. Like things like the balloon game. Some of the things I see on there are unbelievable. Unbelievable. You're not tall enough. Your shoe, you don't have the right shoes on. We're picking based on what these days? Gentlemen, jump in the chat. What we talking about? What are we picking women based on? Let me ask y'all this question. What's the value of a woman now? What makes a woman valuable? Let's talk. What makes a woman valuable to you? What makes a man, to the ladies out there, what makes a man valuable to you? Guys, what makes a woman valuable to you? What do you pick her based on? Do you pick her based on a future? Right? Because this is one thing I believe about men. One thing men we got to realize is that there is a time where we should be alone. There's a time when men should be alone, ladies and gentlemen. I really do believe that. I do believe that. I believe there's a season in every man's life where he does not need to be with anybody. Why? To properly discover himself. As a man, if you don't properly discover yourself, bro, you won't know what to do with a woman anyway. You need to properly discover who you are, where you're going, because a lot of us guys out there, you are forsaking your purpose and your passions for life based on trying to please a woman. You have. And a lot of you sisters out there have thrown your future away trying to please a man. And I think this is a big problem in relationships. A lot of people come together and they don't have their own purpose. They don't have their own purpose. I was counseling a guy the other day. He just went through a major breakup and he was saying, man, I don't even know what to do with my life. He's 32 years old. What do you mean you don't know what to do with your life? And I asked him, bro, what was your purpose before you got with her? He looked me in my eyes and sadly said, Christian, I don't even know. I don't know what my purpose was. Wait a minute, bro. That's a big issue. If you don't have a purpose going in, then what are you bringing to the relationship? Everybody talks about what somebody's going to bring to the table. You know, what she bringing to the table, what he bringing to the table. When it comes down to what somebody's bringing to the table, it has nothing to do with your money, what car you drive, what house you live in. Because listen, you can have a house, you can have a car, you can have a big bank account. The only thing that really drives a relationship is the power of purpose. A lot of people have no purpose in the relationship. What are we together for? Because love is not enough. And I challenge you with this. I challenge, and I state it again, love is not enough. Love is not enough to keep a relationship. Y'all know it like I know it. Y'all know it like I know it. Love is not enough to keep a relationship. You can love somebody and they can live across the country. A lot of you right now have broken up with people and you love them, but you'll never be with them again. Because there's proof that love is not enough. I believe that the key to any relationship is compatibility. You can love somebody, but if you're not compatible with them, the relationship is never going anywhere. I promise you that. It's never going to last. It's never going to last if you're not compatible with them. It's never going to last because the question is going to become, why are you here? What are we doing together? I don't believe Adam and Eve were in love in the scriptures. I believe, and this is not, listen, we're not going to have a Bible debate on whether you believe in Adam and Eve existed or not. Let's learn from the principle. I don't believe Adam and Eve loved each other. I believe they were compatible. Adam said to that woman, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. It was something about her that kept them together. He needed her. That's another thing we run into today. Everybody, I don't need nobody. Yes, you do. I heard a sister say the other day on social media, I don't need no man. I just want one. What's that mean? If you don't need somebody, then what's the point of being with them? We all need somebody. You need somebody. And guess what? You'll never really have a whole relationship until you humble yourself to say that you do need somebody. All this, I don't need nobody, is trash. Man, you need a woman. Woman, you need a man. I don't care. Listen, another thing is we try to base the future, the reality of relationship based on what we've been through in the past. The person you're dating now is not the person you were dating before. And let's be honest about this. The person you were before is not the person you are now. See, there's a lot of growing up to do if we're going to be in a relationship. And this is a big issue that I see, that in relationship, you know what we do a lot of times? We bring the parts of us that we want healed to the relationship. You can't bring somebody a bunch of broken pieces. You can't. Both men and women do that. And I don't want no man in here today trying to act tough. We do that to each other. We bring our broken self to a relationship and we want somebody to heal us. We do. Men and women do that. Again, the Dear Brother podcast is where grown men keep growing. We don't hide our flaws. We don't act like we don't have them. The reality is, most of the time, we don't bring what we have to offer to a relationship. In many situations, what we want in a relationship is we want someone to give us what somebody else didn't give us. And let the truth be told, y'all. Let's really get into it. Let the truth be told. In a lot of situations, we're not even bringing our past relationship to the relationship. We're bringing our childhood to the relationship. If we really want to talk today, let's get into that. We're bringing our childhood to a relationship. That's why when I do marriage counseling, I don't talk about the couple at all. And a lot of couples say, well, when you going to talk about us? Listen, when you counseling a couple, when a couple wants to get married, there's no point in talking about them. You know what you talk about? If you want to have a good relationship, talk about how you grew up, because that's how you determine what kind of relationship you're going to have based on how you grew up. Whatever you saw in your house is what you're going to bring to the relationship. Gentlemen, whatever you saw your father do or not do is what you're going to bring to the relationship. Women, whatever you saw your mother do or not do is what you're going to bring to the relationship. Don't ever believe that you're not going to bring your past to the relationship. And again, your past is not your past boyfriend, past girlfriend, ex-husband, or ex-wife. Your past is how you grew up. That determines how you handle relationships. That really does how you it determines how you handle relationship. I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the hardest things to do in relationship is understand a human being who doesn't understand themselves. You want to find out where you are, why you are, how you are, you got to look at what you saw in your house. You got, if you saw a woman constantly be disrespectful to a man's sister, you're going to disrespect men. Brothers, if you constantly saw your dad take care of your mom, you will take care of a woman. If you constantly saw a man abandon a house, you will abandon a house. I'm telling you. Don't always believe that the issues of a relationship have anything to do with your ex. The biggest problem why relationships can't get healed is because we still playing the blame game of who we were with. The reality is, in order to have a healthy relationship, at some point you got to look at yourself. Because let me tell you the truth of the matter. You will date the same person over and over and over again until you check what's broken inside of you. Let me tell you something. If you're a giver, you're going to date a taker until you wake up. Because takers come to take. Takers going to find a giver all day long. And this is the real issue. You can't choose someone who's going to love you properly until you love yourself properly. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Until you love yourself properly, you don't even know how to choose somebody that's going to love you properly. That's the reality situation. Do we care about each other? Is marriage worth it? That's the question on the table. Jump in the chat on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Let's talk. Is it worth it? Is marriage worth it? Some of you that have been through divorce, let's talk. Let's talk. Why did you get divorced? What drove you there? What drove you to the place where you felt like it wasn't worth it anymore? Was it worth it to you? Was the relationship worth it to you? Let's get into it. Let's talk. Was it worth it? Was the relationship worth it? Would you get married again? Did you feel like you did it wrong the first time? For many of you that have been married before, what did you learn about yourself? Because you know what maturity does? Maturity says, what did I learn about me? Not what I hate about them. You're an immature person if you're constantly looking at what somebody did to you. In fact, I will go in even further to say that you're a victim. You're a victim. You are a victim if you always are looking at the other person. Be very careful, y'all, of somebody that can never see flaws in themselves. I remember I was like 10 years old, maybe 11. And I didn't know nothing about love, relationships, or none of that. But I remember my dad saying to my mom, I was sitting in the other room, and I never forget this. I remember my dad saying to my mom, he said, "Baby, is it anything ever wrong with you, or is it always me?" Now, I never forgot those words. They pierced me like I understood them when I was like 10 or 11. I never forgot those words, and I didn't understand them until I became an adult and start dating. One of the biggest issues in relationship is the lack of accountability. Nobody wants to take accountability, not for what they've done, not for what they're doing, or not for where they came from. Lack of accountability is a big thing. We're lacking a lot of accountability in relationships. We got to grow up if you're going to be in a relationship. Another thing about relationships is they're sacrificial. Relationship is sacrificial. If you're going to be in a relationship, you got to be willing to give up something. You can't build a healthy relationship unwilling to give up something. You got to be willing to give up something. Where are you What are you willing to give? If you ain't willing to give nothing, I promise you, you'll never have a happy relationship. See, then this is the question. And I want y'all to pay very close attention to what I said. It's not about what you're willing to lose, what you're willing to give. Because if it's somebody you love, sometimes there's some things that you gotta lose. And some ways you work through your single life won't work in the promised land of being in a relationship with somebody else. It won't work. It won't work. Right? So let's dive in. Let's dive into some of these thoughts. Because there's a big rise of no-fault divorce. The statistics are crazy about no-fault divorce. The fear of losing somebody, right? It doesn't seem there anymore. Why are people willing to lose each other so easy? And I think the bigger question is, why were you willing to get with somebody you were willing to lose so easy? Statistics show that divorce is initiated by women, 70, 80% by women. Am I blaming women? No. This is the Dear Brother podcast where grown men keep growing. It's not about blame, but I'm gonna ask women, why is the rate of divorce? Why are you so willing to walk away from your husband? Why are you willing to walk away from your husband so easily? Men, is marriage still worth it? Let's talk. Let's talk. Because we got to answer these questions, y'all. We got to answer these questions because there's a lot of breakdown in relationship. A lot of crisis in relationship. While I'm on here, y'all, let me show y'all some new merch. I got a new ebook out right now, y'all, Removing the Shame. If some of y'all have dealt with shame in your relationship, in life, you know, some of us have made some master blunders in our life. Listen, I got this book. Go to christianwinners.com. Go to my website, christianwinners.com right now. This book is available in my store on my website right now. Go pick up this book, y'all. You can go get it. I got a new book coming out. I'm revealing it to y'all for the first time today. This book I'm not launching this book till May 1st, but I'm going to let y'all know right now. I got a new book out for your brothers, for y'all brothers right now. It's called Dear Brother, The Blueprint to Becoming the Man of Your Own Dreams. It's out right. It's out right now. I'm showing it for the first time to y'all on this live this afternoon. I'm launching it May 1st, but the book is available on Amazon to y'all. If you want that book, go jump into it. Got a lot of books out, y'all. I want y'all to go check out. Let me see. Here it is. You can go check it out right now. The Blueprint to Becoming the Man of Your Own Dreams. Because I think a lot of us guys, we've become the person of a lot of other people's dreams. A lot of y'all have got lost in your responsibility for everybody else. A lot of men, you don't even know you count, bro. You don't even know you count. And some of you brothers, a lot of women are called men selfish, but I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of men out here right now that you've jumped out of relationship because you never really felt like you've done anything for yourself. And now you're with somebody who's asking for more. Is she wrong for asking for more? Probably not. But if you've never served yourself, a woman can feel like a burden instead of a relationship. Listen, if you've always carried the water for somebody else, the bag for somebody else, because some of you brothers are messed up. You're messed up because some of you have grown up too fast. You had to carry the bag as a man before your time. Some of y'all didn't grow up with fathers in the house. You had to be the man of the house when you were 10 or 11 years old, and that wasn't your job. And a lot of us right now have become selfish men, not because you're a selfish man, because you didn't have an opportunity to ever care for yourself. I got this book out right now on Amazon. Go grab it. The Blueprint for Becoming the Man of Your Own Dreams. Dear brother, go check it out. It's my little commercial. I'm going to keep on popping. Go get Removing the Shame, y'all. That's on my website, christianwinners.com. Go check it out. All right, the chat is jumping. Let's see who's in the chat. But I want to show y'all also, brothers, this was my first book I put out the mint. I wrote this book in 2022. I was living in a car in a parking lot of a cancer center. I was by myself. It was the first time I ever got in touch with me. I have taught all around the world. I was valuable to everybody else except myself. In 2022, I wrote this book, Home Where Hurt Men Heal, on this very cell phone, living in a car, homeless. I lost everything. I had a 6-bedroom house in a place called Huntington Valley. Beautiful. I had everything except myself. And some of y'all know what it is to have everything except yourself. And I found myself homeless in the car. I asked God, why would you take everything from me? And the answer was simple, so you can find you, right? And some of y'all do need to go home to your family. Some of y'all need to go back to your wives, to your children. But I'm going to tell you, home is not always a physical place. Most of the time, home is the sanctuary of your mind. For men, home is the sanctuary of your mind. You got to get back here. If you can get back here, you can get your life together. I'm telling you, bro. I've been on this journey. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me see who's in the chat. Okay, let me see. Philly, let me see. Are people willing to give up on marriage easily, or are people willing to stay in dysfunction until death? Talk to me. Are we? Are we? Are people willing to give up on marriage easily, or are people willing to stay in dysfunction until death? This is the question. This is the question. That's a great question. I got some more chats in here, and I'll get to you. This is a great question, Philly, but this is where I challenge this. Are people willing to give up on marriage easily, or are people willing to stay in dysfunction until death? Dysfunction, listen, two people coming together that spend a lifetime apart, okay? You got two people. You got a man and a woman. You got a man who's been raised like this all his life. Take a man who's 30 years old. Take a woman who's 30 years old. For 30 years, they've been raised a certain way. For 30 years, they've been seeing life a certain way. For 30 years, they've been dating a certain way. And for 30 years, they've been selfish. It's been all about them. Now you have a woman. For 30 years, it's been about her. For 30 years, life has been about her. For 30 years, she's been taught to love and care about herself. Now you got these two. You got 60 years of life experience, and you're trying to collide 60 years of life experience. That's dysfunctional. Soon, listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Soon as two people come together and get married, you automatically have dysfunction. Because it's the thing. A wedding day and vows don't make someone one. So the fact that you're trying to bring two people together, 60 years of not knowing, being totally different, that's dysfunction. The question is, are we willing to work on that dysfunction? And that's why the real question that I have is, are we choosing properly? Because when you choose properly, then you can work through the dysfunction of trying to merge 60 years of life together. See, I never thought about that. Thank you for the question. I never thought about that. But jump back in the chat. You talk to me. How do you feel about that, Philly? How you feel about that? Do you see what I'm saying? You know, it because when you talk about dysfunction, again, where does the dysfunction come from? Dysfunction, every marriage starts dysfunctional. Come on. Let's go to the second level thinking on this. Every marriage starts dysfunctional. You're asking two people to come together and create oneness. That's dysfunctional. The very preface of that is dysfunctional. The only way that works is if you're with somebody that you choose properly. That's the only way. Jump back in the chat. Let me know how you feel. Malika, my sister, let me see. Is Removing the Shame only an ebook? Not sure if I didn't hear some of the info. Yes, it's an ebook. Removing the Shame is an ebook, y'all. I will put it up on Amazon. I got so many books on my bookshelf right now, y'all. But I will put this up as a hardcover book. I'm sorry, as a not a hardcover. Y'all know, in a paperback on Amazon. But yes, right now that's an ebook. Go to christianwinners.com. You can have that book in minutes. Let me pop it back up. Go to christianwinners.com, y'all. Removing the Shame. A lot of us have been through shame. A lot of us have been through hell, and guilt and shame and doubt has tried to take over your life. Go get this book. It's 3 parts to this book, right? All 3 parts are right there. It's on sale right now for $9, I believe, and I taught this, actually. I got to find the Malika. I got to find the footage, because I actually taught this live. I did a 3-part teaching on removing the shame, and then I wrote the book right after that. But yeah, that's an ebook, my sister. Go grab that. Go grab that on christianwinners.com right now. It's a good book. It will help you out. Let me see. All right, Philly's back in the building. Let me see. I've never been married. I just wanted to know your opinion. That's my opinion. I think marriage itself is dysfunctional, y'all. Now, I don't want nobody to catch that clip and say Christian said marriage is dysfunctional. I want you to catch what I said. If you have to rewind, in fact, I'm not even going to give y'all a chance to rewind. I'm going to say it right now. The reality is, asking two people who have two separate lives, you come into marriage as a selfish human being. When you're single, you're selfish, and you're supposed to be. Life is all about you. The Bible talks about great is the mystery of marriage, two becoming one, two becoming one, two becoming one. To become means there's a process to becoming. And again, if we call that dysfunction from the rip, then what we'll say is we'll call somebody dysfunctional, when reality is the very concept of marriage is dysfunctional. And you have to have two people that really are into each other. I didn't say love each other enough. Two people that are compatible enough to work through the dysfunction of bringing 50, 60, 70 years of individuality together. That's a hard reality. That's a hard reality. Let me ask y'all, some of y'all, jump in the chat. Let's talk. Is marriage worth it? Is it worth it? I say I say marriage is worth it. But I think even deeper, the person that you marry is the person that's worth it. Marriage itself is crazy and chaotic and ugly. It's not beautiful. See, because we mix up the wedding day for the marriage. The wedding day is beautiful. The marriage is ugly. Marriage is sanctifying, because nobody can take you to the highest heights of heaven or the lowest parts of hell like the person you are married to. Nobody can take you further than them, either up or down. That's the mystery of marriage. The question I have for y'all, is it worth it? Is marriage worth it? Should we do it? Should we do it? Right? Because this is the thing. And I want y'all to consider. I want you to consider. Did you consider what you really wanted when you got married? And I want to say this. I want to pause for this cause and say this especially to a lot of religious people out there. A lot of religious people got married for religion. I'm going to sit with that. I'm going to let y'all sit with that. A lot of religious people got married for religion, and a lot of people have got married for other people. Or you chose someone who people will accept. Oh, man. A lot of us have chose people that you thought people would accept. Because let me tell you something. You're not marrying marriage, ladies and gentlemen. You're marrying a human being. And I think a lot of times we marry a concept. But you're not marrying a concept. You're marrying a person. You're marrying a person. Let me see who's in the chat. Malika, definitely worth it. Okay. Amazing, even if you amazing, even if you make it that way. Okay. Yeah, marriage is amazing if you make it that way. It can be horrible if you make it that way. This is the question. Let me throw this out. How do you make marriage beautiful? How do you make marriage beautiful? Because another thing is this. I think that we ignore individuality in marriage. If you got two people that feel ugly about life, it's hard to make a good marriage. Two unhappy people can't make a good marriage, y'all. I don't think we talk enough about that. We talk about the union, but we don't talk about individual happiness, individual joy, individual peace, because you can't bring what you're not. You can't bring to a marriage what you're not. You can't do it. It's no way you can bring to a marriage what you're not. You can't. You can't bring to a marriage what you're not. You got to be something. And again, the biggest question when we talk about what do you bring to the table, forget the money. That's going to spend. Right? That's going to spend. What are you bringing as an individual to yourself? And when you bring something to yourself, oh man, let's get into that. Because that's a whole conversation. We want to ask people what they bring to the table. The real question is, what have you brought to yourself? If you've brought nothing but pain, heartache, drama, depression to yourself, you can't bring it to the marriage. You can't bring any joy to the marriage. And a lot of us have brought hell to ourselves most of our single life. And then we come to a marriage, and what we want from the marriage is we want somebody to heal us from what the things we never gave us. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. My man John Payton, let's see. Marriage is worth it, when you have two people submitted to be humble enough to adapt, but not lose identity. John, I gotta play music on that, because you just dropped a bar, and a bar deserves, my brother. Woo! That's a fact, bro. Let me read it again. Marriage is worth it when you have two people submitted to be humble enough. Humility. Is there enough humility in marriage? And do we lose our identity in marriage? I think this is the thing. I think, John, I'll say this, and I want you to jump back in. I think that we lose identity in marriage when insecurity is on the table. A lot of times there's so much insecurity on the table that people lose their individuality because they didn't have enough to stand on their own. Listen, you can't, marriage is about walking together. It's not about someone carrying somebody else. Now, I'm not talking about the nuances. There will be nuances in any relationship where there will be a season when you must carry the person you're with, but you shouldn't be carrying somebody from the time you come into a relationship with them. If you're carrying somebody from the time you walk into a relationship, they didn't come standing on their feet. And you can't, two people must walk together, or you'll feel like this person is a child that you're carrying. Oh, man. Right? Let me put you back up, John, because that's a good statement. Marriage is worth it when. Marriage is worth it when. Marriage is worth it when you have two people submitted to being humble, right? Humble. What's the blessing of humility in a marriage? The blessing of humility in a marriage means I'm not always blaming you for everything. One of the worst things in the world that you can do in marriage is bring to the table where you are blaming this person for stuff you know is your own issue. Let me tell you something about triggers. When someone's triggering you, okay, let's talk about this, because and I want to say this to the ladies, a lot of ladies use this lingo. He's triggering me. That triggered me. And what we do is we blame the person that triggered you. Time out. That trigger belongs to you. And that trigger was there before that person got there. Gentlemen, I want to say the same thing. If a woman is triggering you, you can't get mad at her for triggering you. The only time you can get mad at somebody for triggering you is if you reveal that you have this trigger that belongs to you and they continue on their journey to trigger you. That's the only way you can blame them. That's the only way. But you can't blame somebody for your own trigger. That's your trigger. And that's why it's up to us to deal with our own triggers. It's up to us. It's not on somebody else. It's not for somebody else to deal with our triggers, y'all. It's not. It's not. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me see. John, we get mad because the person does not become who we want them to be. Ooh, instead of who God ordained them to be. Let's walk through that. Let's walk through that. Let's walk through that. Let's walk through that. We get mad because the person does not become what we want them to be. Let's break that down. Let's talk about that first, John. Jump in the chat whenever y'all get ready. Jump in the chat. Let's talk. We get mad when the person doesn't become who we want them to be. This is the question. Do we marry someone for who they are? Because I think a lot of times that starts off relationships dishonest. That starts off a lot of relationships start off dishonest because we get in relationships for who we want somebody to be. Well, the only thing they can be is themselves. And this goes back. I'm gonna tell you, I need to do a podcast. I may do it after I get off this live. I need to do a podcast on this subject. That the issue is not who we want somebody to be. Maybe we're choosing wrong. Or perhaps let me talk to the men on the Dear Brother podcast. Maybe this is the issue. We're not choosing ourselves. When you listen, bro, when you choose a woman, you're supposed to choose yourself in another form. That's what Eve was to Adam. She was him in another form. See, if you're choosing everything besides you, your values, what you care about, what matters to you, we're choosing the wrong thing. And then what happens is now we want the person to be a transformer. Now we want to transform somebody into, what we want them to be. So we spend more time trying to transform somebody than loving them. Come on. And men and women do this. I think I want to say, are we? I got to see. I think we're streaming live to the Dear Sister podcast too, y'all. We're on everywhere today. We're on TikTok, the Dear Sister podcast, Facebook, YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's build this community, y'all. But this is the thing. We spend more time trying to transform people than loving them. And if I got to spend a lot of time transforming you, then the question is, was it you? Was I supposed to marry you? If I always got to try to transform you, was I supposed to marry you? Let me look on TikTok, on Instagram. Let me see. God Purpose Marriage. I am Tyrell. Let me see. God Purpose Marriage has to be purposed by God. This is the thing. It does have to be purposed by God. Question is, are we choosing based on it? Make sure I didn't miss anybody's. God purpose marriage has to be purposed by God. Okay. How do I know? How do I choose? Terrell, if you're still on Instagram, let's talk. How do you choose based on that? Right? How do you choose? How do you choose based on that? Let's get into it. John, I see you comment. I'm about to bring it up. Hey, my brother. Hey, Yolanda, how you doing, sister? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Thank you, Yolanda. You were one of the first people whoever was supporting the Dear Brother podcast all the way from Texas. I so appreciate you, my sister. It's so good to see you today. Hey, y'all, if you're on Facebook, go over to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go on the Dear Brother podcast or the Dear Sister podcast. We're streaming live from both today. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Ladies, run over to the Dear Sister podcast on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Gentlemen, run to the Dear Brother podcast on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me see. We want to live with the Decepticon. Yes. Yes. Or John, we are Decepticons. Right? Because too many of us settle for what we don't want. We settle for what we do not want. Hey, y'all, on Facebook, y'all got 5 more minutes on this podcast. If you want to stay in this conversation, go over to YouTube on the Dear Brother podcast or the Dear Sister podcast. All right. Go over there so we can talk over there. All right. Right. I think let's talk about some of the breakdowns and let's talk about some of the breakdowns in relationship. I think one of the healthier things to do in relationship, y'all, is building trust. How do I build trust with somebody? Well, first of all, I got to communicate. Honest communication, right? See, we do so much to win a person. I'm talking to men and women. We do so much to win a person, and sometimes in our winning the person, we lose honesty. In our desire to win somebody, we're not being honest. That's the facts. In a lot of situations, we are trying to win somebody's heart, But if you win somebody's heart with a lie, then what did you do? What do you have? What do you have? If you win somebody with a lie, right? I just want them to like me. This is the problem. Liking you and wanting to be with you is two different things. This. I'm drinking cold coffee, y'all. It turned cold, and I'm just still drinking it. I don't know. Anyway, huh? Right? Because this is the thing. Trust don't start in a relationship. Trust starts in the dating situation, y'all. That's where trust starts. Trust don't start, oh, we go get married, so we trust each other. Trust starts with real communication, even in the dating process or the friendship process or getting to know each other. You can't deceive somebody and build trust because, listen, everything's going to be revealed. Whatever you held back, whatever you thought you were being slick about is going to be revealed. Let's be honest, y'all. Let's be honest. Whatever you thought, listen, don't, John, I got to bring your comment back up because it's hilarious. Right? Are we being Decepticons? A lot of us have been Decepticons in the dating process. You deceived in the dating process. You lied to somebody. You lied. You lied. Right? And we say, "Oh no, I didn't lie." No, you weren't being fully honest. Again, listen. When you're trying to win somebody, you're going to lose them because eventually they're going to find out that you're not what you said. Right? Sometimes you're catfishing somebody to their face. Y'all remember that show Catfish? When somebody will be online, act like somebody they're not, and show you pictures and they're not really that person. Well, you can catfish somebody face to face through communication. You can straight up catfish somebody. You're sitting there, oh, I like that. Oh, yeah. Come on, y'all. Come on. You can't build a healthy relationship trying to win somebody. You have to win somebody with who you are. And if they don't like the person you are, let's stop doing it. And let's stop trying to build relationships based on the fact that you're lonely. That's the wrong space to try to build a relationship, y'all. Being lonely, if you're building a relationship, hey, man, I'm lonely. Let me go find somebody. You're in trouble before you start. Before you even begin, you're in trouble. Before you even begin, right? The hindrance to trust. Let's talk about that because it's a big issue. The hindrance to trust in relationships, again, is the inconsistency, right? The inconsistency that we bring. We do. We bring a lot of inconsistency to relationship. We do. Right? The broken promise is the broken promise of who you told somebody you were when you really weren't that person. Right? And what that does is it builds an insecurity. Are you who you say you are? Don't be so scared to lose somebody, y'all, that you lie about who you are. Because some people, listen, you were better off losing them. You were better off losing. Right? So this is the thing. Another thing I want to talk about is in relationship, we lose individuality because we don't respect each other's individuality. You can't stick somebody in your pocket and expect them to be everything you want them to be. Listen, you got to listen to understand who you're talking to. Listen to understand what they're saying. And guess what? A lot of people, and I say this often on social media when I get into a lot of these conversations and when I'm podcasting, is that we say people deceived us. I think that's a lie. I don't think anybody can deceive you. I don't think anybody can deceive you, y'all. I think that we see what we see. We see negativity in people and we lie to ourselves about what we saw. And then later on, we can act like a victim. Oh my God, I can't believe this. No, you knew. What happens is we allow loneliness in a relationship to make us not see what we see. Right? A person doesn't just become mean. Gentlemen, a woman doesn't just become evil. She doesn't just become cantankerous. She doesn't just become a complainer. When you met her, you were so lonely that you ignored all the things you hate later. And women, y'all do the same thing. You ignore because, again, you want to be with somebody. You want to build a relationship. And you know what we do? We ignore everything that's negative because you're trying to build something with this person. And then when it pops up later, we say, oh, my God, it wasn't a shock, y'all. It wasn't a shock. You knew what it was, but we ignore it. It's like that's why they say don't go shopping when you're hungry. You buy anything. Don't go shopping when you're hungry. Why? Because you'll just buy anything. You'll buy stuff you don't even need. Don't date when you're lonely. You'll take anything. You'll take anything. This is the question before us today, y'all. Are we building proper relationships? Before we even get to the marriage issue, are we building proper relationships? Are we ignoring what we really want? Because your time is winding up. And I want to talk to some of y'all ladies out there. Your time, I'm getting older. It's better to be old and lonely than to roll over to somebody you can't stand just because they fill the space in your life. Relationship is not something you want to build a space. It's not a space filler. You're dealing with a human being, y'all. Let's get into this. Another thing that breaks down relationship is this. We defend ourselves too much. We don't. You can't even you can't build a conversation with somebody when you're defending yourself. Because how can you build if it's nothing wrong with you? Listen, there's something wrong with all of us. Are you willing to admit that before you get into a relationship? Are you willing to? Are you willing to? Are you willing to admit something is wrong with you? Let me ask y'all, jump in the chat. Tell me, is it the right thing to do to tell somebody what's wrong with you? Or are we too scared to lose somebody? Let me know. Jump in the chat. Let's talk. Is it right to let somebody know what is wrong with you, or should you hold that back? And if you're going to hold it back, why? Why? Why are we holding that back? Why? Are we scared to lose people? Are we scared people won't stay? These are real questions, y'all. These are real questions. Another breakdown of relationship is scorekeeping. You can't keep score and have a healthy relationship. You got to let go. Just like you want somebody to let go of your past mistakes, you got to let go of somebody else's. And I'm not talking about when somebody's continuing to break you. I'm talking about if somebody makes a mistake, who can walk perfect in a relationship? And I'm going to tell you, a lot of times when we want somebody to be perfect in a relationship, it's not their issue. It's our own insecurity that needs them to be perfect because we're not willing to admit our own imperfections. Let's get into that. Let's get into that. If you're not willing to admit your own imperfections, a lot of times you can't stand when somebody messes up. Why? It's your insecurity. You need them to be perfect because you're not. Let me get in. Let me show y'all some. Let me take a commercial break right quick. Dear brothers, I got a new book out. I got a new book out. When you go on my website, you'll see it's not coming out till May 1st. But for this podcast, I'm putting it out now. Brand new book out. It's on Amazon right now. If you want to go get it, go grab it. Dear brother, the blueprint to becoming the man of your own dreams is out right now. It's out right now. Go check it out. Go pick it up. It's on Amazon. Go pick it up for yourself. Go pick it up for a brother. It's on Amazon right now. Dear brother, the blueprint to becoming the man of your own dreams. Go check it out. Again, we also have Removing the Shame. That's on christianwinners.com. That's not on Amazon. That's on christianwinners.com. Go get it. It's an ebook. It's on sale right now. I believe it's $9. It's a great book. Great book. I taught this book. I taught this before I wrote it. I taught it. Then I went back and looked. I taught 3-part series on this. And then I went back and I decided to write a book about it. Removing the shame from your life. If you ever dealt with guilt, doubt, and shame, shame is not a teacher. It's a terrorist. Shame will keep you bound in places that it won't allow you to move on. Shame always tells you you're not worthy. Shame tells you you're not lovable enough. And while we're talking about shame, shame is a big reason why we can't have healthy relationships a lot of times, right? Because sometimes you won't feel worthy. You'll choose somebody that's not good for you because that's what you're used to, instead of jumping into what you're worthy of. Go check it out, y'all. It's available to you. Ladies, I got the Soul of Sarah out for the ladies right now on Amazon. Ladies, I got a book called The Soul of Sarah. It's out on Amazon. For some of y'all who think that your only worth is being married and having children, this book will prove it differently. There's an inherent worth in women that every woman needs to know. In fact, this week, yes, the 15th, I'll be teaching 200 women this week. I'm doing a one-day women's conference, teaching from this book, The Soul of Sarah. I think it's the 15th of April. What's that? Maybe Tuesday. Yeah, I think Tuesday. I'll be teaching 200 women from this book. Go check it out, Soul of Sarah. And the first book I wrote to men, Home Where Hurt Men Heal. Go check it out, y'all. I wrote this book while I was homeless, dealing with a lot of things. I thank God that I lost everything. I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything. When I wrote this book, I had 4 T-shirts, 3 pair of shorts, and a duffel bag. In fact, the duffel bag, I'm still got it. It's still sitting right here next to me. It's a reminder to me to be humble. I lost everything I had. And I thank God for it, because when I asked God why he took everything, he showed me so I can have myself back. Go grab these books, gentlemen. Gentlemen, don't run from healing, bro. We all need it. We all need it. We all need it. Oh man, I'm over my hour time. I'm over my hour, y'all. I'm supposed to hold this for an hour. I think I'm gonna go on live, y'all. I said I was supposed to be going on live on Saturdays, on Fridays, but I'm trying to pick the perfect time to go live with Relationship Fridays. So I need to stick with Relationship Fridays. Probably around 12 o'clock on Friday afternoons, I'll go live of Relationship Fridays. And also, y'all, on Sundays, I have for the men, I do a men's Bible study called Soul Search Sundays at 12 o'clock for men. Do a men's Bible study on Sundays. Hey, y'all, thanks for hanging out today. I really appreciate y'all so much for hanging out with me today. Before I go, let me put up Dear Brotherly Advice. If anybody needs advice, relationship advice, before I go, you can throw it in the chat and we can talk about it before I get out of here. I'll spend about maybe 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. Let's say 8 more minutes. Let me do that. 8 more minutes before I go. If you need advice today or any questions about the podcast, throw it in the chat right now and I'll close the show this way. Before I get out of here today, I'll close the show with Dear Brotherly Advice. If anybody needs advice, we'll close the show with that. I am over my time. I try to hold the show for an hour, but I really appreciate y'all hanging out. Again, we have Dear Brotherly Advice. If anybody wants to throw something in the chat or make a final point that you want to share about relationships or give advice to somebody else in the chat and drop some advice, hey, drop it in there and we will share it, y'all. But I really appreciate you hanging out. I want to thank everybody who's been liking and subscribing to the Dear Brother podcast, y'all. We are up to, like, I think last time I checked, we're almost 1,700 subscribers. I think we're around 1,680 subscribers. I remember starting this podcast 8 months ago, y'all, with 2 subscribers. I never thought I see the day of hitting 1,600 subscribers. Thank y'all, everybody who's been liking and subscribing. Thank you to everybody who's been buying the ebook and the books. Everybody out there, man, I really appreciate y'all. I want to give a big shout out to New York. My biggest following is New York and Los Angeles. And we also have global following in the UK is my biggest audience in the United Kingdom. Thank you so much. I think after that is South Africa. I really appreciate that. I was really surprised to see a lot of brothers in Germany that's on the Dear Brother podcast. God bless all y'all out there, man. I really appreciate y'all watching and liking and subscribing to all the videos, man. We have a community right here. We'll build this community. Let me see. Somebody's in the chat. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me see. My main man, Ken Friesen, always right. That's love, my man. I appreciate you, brother. Much love. We got a lifelong friendship, man. My God. We've been all around together, building ministry for years together. My main man, Ken. Carl Ashton, my brother. Good to see you, my man. So good to see you, my brother. Hey, y'all, it's been great hanging out with y'all today. I really have enjoyed this podcast. I know I'm on Saturday. I couldn't get on yesterday, but listen, every Friday, Relationship Friday at 12 noon, we'll jump into it. And every Sunday, we'll have Soul Search Sunday, 12 noon, Bible study for men. Last week, we talked about Noah. Go check out that podcast from last Sunday. We talked about the principles of Noah's life for men. But I'll do a men's Bible study every Sunday at 12 and Relationship Friday every Friday at noon. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Listen, remember that you matter, my brothers. You matter. You matter to me, but you got to make sure you matter to you. Live this life out with no fear and no shame and no compromise. Hey, y'all, we end every podcast the same way. Every week, we end every podcast the same. If you saw it before, you know what to do. Listen, yesterday was history and tomorrow's a mystery. My brothers, all we got is right now. What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do about it? My brothers, I love y'all. Stand tall. Until the next time. Thanks for hanging out at the Dear Brother Podcast. I'll see y'all on the other side, and I'm out of here.